Hello everyone, welcome to Z-Talk. This session, as I promised in my first video for Thanos implementation, I'll talk about migration of Prometheus-operator helm charts. This Prometheus-operator helm chart is pretty awesome as it bundles all Prometheus components like node exporter, alert manager, thanos-sidecar, and even Grafana together and managed by Prometheus-operator for you. What's more, it provides predefined alerts and dashboards based on industry best practices so that you will get pretty awesome visibility of your Kubernetes cluster like out of box once it's deployed. This chart was originally stored within stable Helm chart repository. However, this chart has been deprecated a few months ago, and all new development has moved to another repository called Prometheus-community Helm charts, and the chart has been renamed called kube-prometheus-stack. I attached the documentation in the description of this video. As per doc, it says that you can easily migrate your existing configuration from stable Prometheus operator as it is 100% compatible. However, there were many important steps missing and the doc was not that good to document each steps. So this session, I'd like to walk you through from scratch for migrating the chart. Okay, before I jump to my video, my demo, please thumb up my video and subscribe my channel if you haven't done that. And do feel free to comment if you have any questions. Okay, let's move to the demo real quick. I will be still using Minikube to host my Kubernetes cluster. And for remote storage, I will be using Azure, like what I did in my Thanos implementation video. By the way, if you want to review that video, I attach a link above. You can click and take a look. So I have created the storage account ahead of time on Azure here. Create an storage account here, and in the blob service, click container and create a container. That's what I did. I have created a container called Thanos. Okay, now let's bring up the node and implement stable Prometheus operator Helm chart using default configuration. Okay, now let's start up the VM real quick. Minikube start VM driver equal virtualbox. It's gonna take a little bit of time to get the VM up and running, and once it's up, we can go ahead deploy the stable Prometheus operator Helm chart. Okay, now it's the VM is up and running, and let's do Kubernetes get PO, and you can see kg namespace, and you can see all the default namespace are up and running. And let's take a look. You can see here the Minikube is up and running, right? So now let's install the Prometheus operator Helm chart. Let's do a Helm repo list. So here you can see already added these stable repository here. So if on your end, if you do it first time, just remember to add these Helm chart first before you deploy it to your cluster. So for adding these Helm chart, so just type in Helm repo add stable and copy the URL here to your and hit enter. Then these Helm chart will be added. Okay, so once it's added, we can go ahead and install. So for this demo purpose, I just install on the default namespace without creating a new one. Do helm install. By the way, I'm just gonna use the default configuration. So I'll just do helm install. I'll give the name of this instance called test, and stable repository chart will be Prometheus-operator. That's it. You can see here it shows this chart is deprecated. And let's do kubectl get PO. Okay, it's gonna just be patient, give it a little bit time to make sure all pods here are up and running. Okay, now all pods are up and running. Let's take a look by going to so firstly, because I'm on Minikube, I have to expose the port so we can get access from the local host. So what I'm gonna do is kubectl port forward, and this is the pod where Prometheus is running, so I'm gonna use port 9090 and hit enter. So now I can get access Prometheus. Let me open up a browser, and here type in localhost 9090. Okay, so here we got Prometheus interface, right? So click alert. You can see there are a bunch of predefined alerts out there, so pretty good. And then let's cancel it out and move to Grafana. KGPO, and let's do the same thing to pull forward 3000. kubectl port forward Grafana to 3000, and here let's log in localhost 3000. Yeah, so if you don't remember the password, just take a look the documentation. It's the default password for admin is operator prom-operator. So as I use I didn't change the default password, it's gonna be same as what the documentation says is prom-operator. So basically you can see if you click manage, there are pre-built dashboard here. So take a look each of them. So that's the pre-built dashboard. Just make a note here, because once we migrate to the new charts, these dashboards, those pre-built dashboard might be missing. So we better take a look to figure out which one is important to you and do a backup. So you can do, like, for example, this one is important, and you want to keep this once it's migrated to the new Helm chart, and export. So once it's export, you can export it as a file to your local or Vue.json, and to store that JSON somewhere else, click saved file and store to download to your local. All right. I'll cancel it out. Okay, now let's create a custom values.yaml file to enable thanos-sidecar. That's the only thing that by default out of box Thanos-sidecar was not enabled. So we need to enable it so that it's able to connect to the remote storage that I had created on Azure to store Prometheus metrics for long-term use, right? So let's click here. Firstly, I created two YAML config file. The test Thanos storage config, the YAML is the configuration of my Thanos storage information. As you can see here, the type is Azure and storage account is the name of the account here. So you can see this is my storage account name and access key again. So click access key and click show keys and just copy this access key to your here for access key. And for containers, so again click containers under blob service, and Thanos was the one I created to store Prometheus metrics. So type Thanos and save it. And now let's jump to move it out, and let's jump to the values.yaml file. So here these was the I basically just create a simple configuration to override some existing settings like replicas. I've set one replica, and retention I only make like 1 hour, and images I'm using the latest version. And here was the one I had to enable thanos-sidecar, so I'm gonna use the latest version, which is 18. And here I'm gonna create a secret on Kubernetes cluster and store these configuration to the secret called code object storage config. All right, let's do that real quick. Firstly, create a secret by kubectl create secret generic Thanos RBG store config, that's the name of the secret, and from file equal Thanos, this is a key value pair, so thanos.yaml and equal the file here, test storage journal. Hit enter. So this script was created. Let's take a look. See here, the secret was there. So let's go inside by kubectl edit secret. Okay, so this is key value pairs, right? So the key is thanos.yaml, and the value was coded. So we have to decode first to see a human readable format. So let's copy that out and do echo base 64 -decode -d as decode. So you can see these with exactly the configuration we defined in our YAML file in the Visual Studio Code, right? So we're good. So now let's deploy these custom values, the YAML file, to override the configuration. So let's do kubectl helm upgrade -install and test stable Prometheus-operator -f to include my customization test -values.yaml file, and hit enter. Okay, so the update has been applied to the cluster. Let's do a kubectl get PO, and you can see the old pod was terminating, and let's give it time. See now, so previously there were only 3 containers inside of this pod, right? But now, as the sidecar was enabled in my customization, so there was a new container being added to this pod. That's sidecar, and let's give it sometime. Okay, now all containers up and running for this pod. This pod is good, so let's take a look. KDPO. And let's take a look. You see here, the thanos-sidecar container was added and it's running this later version 0.18. Okay, we're good. Now we can we're ready for migrating these configuration to the new repository. I'm on the GitHub repository of the new chart. Let's go through the documentation to see what should we do to migrate chart to this new one, right? Let's scroll down a little bit to the section where it talks about migration. Here we go. So migrating from stable Prometheus-operator charts, right? So it says it's gonna be a 0 downtime smooth migration, as this new kube-prometheus-stack chart is fully compatible with the old one. Unfortunately, it turns out not that easy, as I figured out there were important steps missing in this documentation, and there were also some known issues we have to fix before we're able to migrate. So for this demo, it won't hurt to just run the command is provided in this documentation here to see what error we will receive. All right. So before I issue this command on my terminal, let's go back to my terminal to issue a helm ls to see what version we are currently using, right? So for the stable Prometheus-operator helm chart, right? So we can see it's on the chart version is 9.3.2, all right, and the app version is 0.38.1. Okay, so let's issue that command by let me copy this command here and paste over here. By the way, because this command assumes the chart will be deployed to a dedicated namespace called monitoring, but for my case, I didn't create a separate namespace. I just deployed it on default namespace. So I will take these monitoring namespace out and hit enter. Okay, so it returns error, upgrade failed, Prometheus-operator has no deployed releases. So what I need to do, I need to replace the Prometheus-operator to the instance that I created. So it will be helm upgrade test, and copy the rest of the command and hit enter. Okay, another error, but this time is something different. It says values.prometheus-operator.admission webhooks.cert-manager.enable nail pointer evaluating interface. Basically, this error tells there's some parameters missing, specific this one missing in the values.yaml file. So we need to take a look the documentation. So let's scroll up a little bit. So I figured out, so there was a requirement it didn't mention for migration. So we have to on the higher version. You can see here we have to be at least on 10.x version of Prometheus-operator before we can issue the upgrade command. But right now we are still on 9.3.2 version. So let's but for upgrading from version 9.x to 10.x, there was the issue. It says version 10 upgrades Prometheus-operator from 0.38x to 0.42x, starting with 0.40x, and additional probes CRD is introduced. However, Helm does not automatically upgrade or install these new CRDs, so we have to install it manually. Let's copy this command and hit install it. So this custom CRD was installed now, and then issue that command one more time to upgrade. So this time what I need to do, I just need to upgrade the chart. So I will do helm upgrade test Prometheus, the repository name, chart name, then I will upgrade it to version 10.x. Okay, it's returned something else. It's another error. It says upgrade failed. Unknown field probe namespace selector in monitoring of Prometheus-stack validation error. So these involve some known issue. Back to the old chart. Let's go back to the old chart. Here, this is the old repository for stable Prometheus-operator, right? So here, if you go down and work around for known issue, Helm fails to create CRDs. So besides the new one, the new CRD that we just created, there were still CRDs missing as a known issue in the old repository. So what we need to do, we need to manually install these custom CRDs before we can issue the command. But here you notice, so the release version of these CRDs on 0.38. However, we are gonna upgrade to 0.40.x. So we need to when we issue this command, we need to copy this command out to somewhere in Notepad and change the release version from 38 to 42, the version we're gonna upgrade to, right? So here, 42. So that's what we're gonna do here. So let me copy this whole thing out and paste to the editor and change the version to 42 or 43. Either works as long as it's higher than 40, which should be good. Then copy those to my terminal and paste. So you see here, I changed the version to 0.43. So hit enter. So it's gonna create these CRDs one by one. Once it's done, let's issue the upgrade command one more time. Hit enter. Okay, it's promising. It didn't throw out any error this time. So let's give it a little bit of time for upgrading. Great, cool. So let's issue a helm ls. And now you can see we were successfully upgraded to the, actually not upgraded, we migrated to the new chart kube-prometheus-stack 10.3.5, all right? And the app version is 0.42, which looks good. So let's issue kubectl kubectl get PO to see if the pod is up and running, and all pods are up and running. Okay, since everything is up and running, let's do a validation. So here, firstly, I issue helm ls. So we can see currently it's switched the chart to the new one. So it's kube-prometheus-stack now, and we're on version 10.3.5, which is good. And then we use kubectl get PO, and we see all pods are up and running. So let's log in to Prometheus and Grafana interface to see the data we had still there. And let's go to Prometheus first by issue kubectl port forward. And access via port 9090. So now we're good to get access localhost 9090, and so we are able to get access Prometheus. And if you click alerts, so we can see those predefined alerts still there, so we're good. And now let's jump to Grafana. Same thing, to change the port to 3000, and this is the Grafana pod, and 3000. Hit enter, and then switch back to the browser and localhost 3000 here. So we're on Grafana, and we can see the predefined dashboard still out there, and the it's working as expected, so we're good. Okay, so once we confirmed Grafana Prometheus still working as expected, let's perform some further testing by apply a change and by helm chart to see if it works. Let me exit it out here, and what I'm gonna do, so I'm going to downgrade it to version to a lower version, just trying to make some change on my custom values.yaml and apply by this new chart and see if it works as expected. So I will just random pick downgrade to for example 20, and let's see if it works. Helm ls and helm upgrade install, and test. The name of the new repository will be Prometheus-community / the chart name will be kube-prometheus-stack, and I'll attach my custom values.yaml file and hit enter. Oops, it's returned an error showing unknown field shards. Let's just Google what this error was all about and copy and try if we can see some solutions on Google. And here's it, and click that, and it says, okay, looks like the author of a recent update forgot to update the CRD. So in the meantime, if anyone else is having this issue, setting fix for me. So this one works, so let's try it out. Go back to my editor, and here in the Prometheus back section, I'll add a property called shards and make it as null, right? And let's see if it works. Just let me save it and go back to the terminal, issue these upgrade command one more time. Okay, it's done. This time it didn't return any error, so let's do a kgpo. Okay, cool. Now every pod is up, all pods are up and running, so we're good. And just notice here there was a little change. It's down to the number of containers inside of the Prometheus pods down from 4 to 3, but it should be okay because we can validate the containers for Prometheus and thanos-sidecar are still out there. As long as they're out there, we're good. So let's issue kd po kubectl describe po. By the way, you probably noticed here I defined the alias on my end, but for your end, if you didn't do that, you need to issue the full command like kubectl describe or kubectl get, whatever it is. So let's hit enter, and we can see. Let's start from the top. The Prometheus container is still out there, and this thanos-sidecar container is still out there, so we should be good. And just in case, let's log in Prometheus and Grafana interface one more time to see everything's still there. So kubectl port forward, and let's go to Prometheus first, and 9090. All right, so jump to the browser, localhost 9090, and alert still out there. We're good. And then jump to Grafana, kubectl port forward, Grafana, and 3000, and switch to the browser, localhost 3000, get access. Remember the password is prom-operator, prom-operator, and logged in. And here the dashboard is still there, so, and data still reporting as expected, so we're good. Now we can say the migration was done completely. Here, let's cancel it out and issue helm ls. And we successfully migrated from the old stable Prometheus-operator chart to this new community kube-prometheus-stack chart. That's pretty much all I want to share for this session. Thanks for watching. Alright, thank you for watching my video. If you think this video is helpful, you're more than welcome to leave any comments. Remember, thumb up, subscribe my video, and also hit the notification bell. See you next time.